So, Radio Rebel was a movie that plagued my childhood. Every time I went to watch Disney Channel, there was W. Ryan saying, "We got the beat,"
They got the beat, they got the beat.
which in all actuality sucked because we all knew We So Fly by the G's was the superior song. It was totally bad marketing. And Radio Rebel in general gets a bad rap, and I get it. You have this girl being the worst stereotype of a shy kid who made faces like this. And I get it. I really do. But we also have to say what was underlying in all of us watching that movie. We were all jealous of Debbie Ryan because she dated Cody from Sweet Life on Deck. And now she has this other guy, Gavin, who, sorry Cody, sorry 10-year-old me, is 100 times better. But, now that I'm older, wiser, in college, and procrastinating on finals, why don't we actually take a look at Radio Rebel and see if it's good or bad?
This is Radio Rebel, live from the underground.
We open up to Radio Rebel giving a motivational speech that you probably could have just found on Tumblr.
Guys, these are all labels, not who we really are. Once upon a time, being different was a good thing. Now those differences just divide us. You deserve to embrace your awesomeness. Stand up for who you are. Reject the status quo. I dare you.
She then says to stand up for who you are and to reject the status quo, which, sure, is a good message, but before Tara gets attention and fame, she doesn't do that. She's the stereotypical quiet kid who doesn't stand up for her friend when mean girl Stacy tosses this rude insult her way.
Get it now? Your little DJ hero doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh, does her royal shyness want to say something? Huh?
The thing that I've always found funniest about Radio Rebel is she's supposed to be the quiet kid, but everybody seems to know her name.
Okay, Radio Drivel. You were bad enough when you didn't talk.
Hey, Tara, what's up?
She has this big-ass school, and some popular kid is going to pay attention to a person that is irrelevant to their life? Alright, movie bullies do what movie bullies do, I guess. And this is Radio Rebel, Tara's best friend Audrey. The token, non-white sidekick that every Disney Channel movie has. And Audrey just happens to be every high school's insane theater kid.
Focusing. I am Naida. Oh, did you want to pick a volunteer? I got excited. Drama is my life. Okay, who wants to write a suggestion? Let's see hands, people.
Again, you don't have to know much about her because she just supports whatever Radio Rebel does because that's what sidekicks do in these types of movies. But after we get introduced to Mean Girl Stacy, we get introduced to Gavin, by far the best character in this whole movie. We get chatter about how cool his band is.
It's the band, man, and we're getting some heat. A little tension from the ladies. Your stock is on the rise, and Stacy's noticing.
Well, what would I even say?
Listen to me, okay? Focus. Eye of the tiger. Don't stop believing. We are the champions.
Are you just quoting song titles?
This is your chance, man. Seize the moment.
I like Gavin as the male love interest because he's not an ass, he's really caring, and has actual hopes and dreams. So Mean Girl Stacy likes Gavin because the G's are basically celebrities, and trust me, you'll see what I mean. Every time in a scene where post-production felt that they needed to add in praise when it wasn't needed, people will just spout all this weird shit. And I will also join in post-production doing the same thing.
She's rocking. Our fan base is expanding to other schools.
But, uh-oh. Gavin's theater class is doing a project with Radio Rebel's English class? Zoinks! This is the part that always got me as a kid, because everybody in the class would be like, did you see that girl run out? Should we be worried? Like, the teacher would go after her, but no. Radio Rebel is just worried because Gavin from the G's is in her class, and we all know how cool Gavin from the G's is.
What is Gavin doing here? He's in drama. You could talk to him. You've had a crush on him since, the first Harry Potter movie.
No. No, he is a newborn pup. Okay, totally wrong social bracket. The best thing for me is to just avoid him altogether.
But, uh-oh. They are in a scene together? With Mean Girl? Please say it ain't so.
Sorry, but I don't want anyone to think I'm favoring you just because I'm your prom date.
And Tara takes this news really hard, but like, Tara also admits she's never talked to Gavin before.
Of course he's taking Stacy to prom.
Look, at least you talked to him. For you, that's major progress.
Barely got 2 words out.
But with this project, Tara and Gavin are finally able to talk, and they actually begin to bond, if you can even call it that.
So, do you want to run lines on the weekend? Or we could mime the lines if you're not feeling particularly talky.
Mine, cocky. I'm go. Me. Now.
Good job. Okay.
I feel like since we are far enough into the movie that I can actually state this, Tara is a horrible portrayal of a shy girl, because in all actuality, Tara is not shy. She obviously suffers from anxiety. It's pretty apparent as shy people do not feel anxious and that they are spinning out of control when they have to do something. They just prefer to keep to themselves, while Tara has actual fears and worries about everything. The situation where she went to the board and did this is not a shy girl thing. But, you know, it's a Disney Channel movie and we got to show that she's awkward and quirky. Tara then gets on a big-time radio station because of nepotism. Just kidding though. Her stepfather wanted the high school podcast on before he knew it was his quiet stepdaughter. And then she does this because shy people do this when they are nervous. Fast forward through success and awkward bonding, and the principal actually becomes very concerned about Radio Rebel because Radio Rebel actually disses her on her radio show because her principal is obsessed with taking every MP3 in sight.
But can we talk about what's not cool for a second? Now the school keeps confiscating our stuff. I mean, I've lost 2 sets of headphones and an MP3 player just this term alone. Although I did notice that some of us seem to be exempt from this little stuff-snatching epidemic.
This is probably the most ballsy thing Tara does in this whole movie, and I get it. Can you guys imagine your MP3 getting taken away from you? I always have mine on me, so I would be unable to cope. The principal and the mean girl then team up to get Radio Rebel expelled, and then Stacy's sidekick says this.
Radio Dribble should pay for pulling a stunt like that.
Oh, don't worry, Stacy. Disruptions like today are temporary, but I can enforce disciplinary measures that can last forever.
Like diamonds? And rice cakes?
Ah yes, I go to school too and get my rice cakes and diamonds while being punished by the principal. Gavin ends up telling his group that he wants to make more real music, and honestly, this should be a thesis video about why Gavin is the real role model in Radio Rebel.
Since when do our fans determine what we play?
Radio Rebel then gets nominated for Prom Queen, which is a bigger problem to Tara than it actually is. Just don't go on stage. Simple as that. Or maybe just because my school didn't have Prom Queen and King, I don't know what being in that position is like. Because, you know, the only reason why I would not have gotten Prom Queen is because my school didn't have it. Really. But anyway, moving on, Gavin's friend then gets annoyed that Gavin tells him Tara's name after he congratulated Gavin for sucking up to her.
Clever. I'm friends with the girl whose dad runs Slam. I like the way you think, bro.
Her name's Tara.
Who cares?
Gabe, you should care. You just admitted that it's a good idea to kiss up to her. But what? Death to this one-dimensional character? No, it needs to be obvious that he only cares about his image, which is why he wears that. Maybe I just don't get it because I live in Boston where you need a coat to be a coat, but I don't think in any world this is a look. The principal wants Radio Rebel to reveal herself, but instead, everyone just says what they are afraid of.
One time, I accidentally swallowed a tiny piece of tinfoil, so now I'm afraid if I stand too close to the microwave, I'll explode.
I'm afraid of getting cut from the football team. I'm afraid Larry might be losing it.
I'm afraid I'll always be a single integer.
I'm afraid of power outages.
I'm afraid to go out to eat because I have IBS and I might faint in public if I'm constipated. Oh, sorry, got lost in the moment. Prom then gets cancelled as the principal hopes that the student body will rise up and force Radio Rebel to reveal her identity. And this was cancel culture before cancel culture even existed.
Do you know how many dreams you crushed by canceling prom?
I agree with the last caller. I had just gotten a date and now it's over.
This is the last time I'm listening to you. Ever. Who do you think you are?
You disappointed everyone.
Do you even care about anyone but yourself?
Do you know how many dreams you've crushed?
I thought you were on my side.
Dream crusher, dream crusher. Do you know how many dreams you've crushed? You're a dream crusher. You ruined everything.
There are some iconic moments in Radio Rebel to me, and the Dream Crusher clip is definitely one of them. Here are a couple others.
Whoa.
Oh, spork! It's a turkey on rye.
I hope that was fun for you guys, but let's get back into this commentary. Since they need to escape the mob, this sandwich helps them as a distraction.
You're listening to DJ's Dancing Sandwich. The turntable spinning in a funky groove.
The sandwich can dance! Dance, sandwich! Woo! Hey, woo!
And their post goes again as Stacy's sidekick is obviously dubbed after production and her mouth isn't even moving at the time she's supposed to be speaking, which, is just chef's kiss iconic. Radio Rebel then plans a prom for anyone that will be hosted by the radio station, and this luckily gets her back in everybody's good graces. Then Stacy throws a party because she's trying to out Tara as Radio Rebel because so far she's the only person that has figured it out. The party takes place during Radio Rebel's time slot, so Tara's mom and her production assistant do this weird little phone thing. Anyway, you would think after this party people would know that Tara is Radio Rebel after fighting with Stacy on air, on her phone, walking past the entire grade. Yeah, Tara is straight up talking in front of everyone as Radio Rebel, and they acknowledge when Stacy passes, but Tara must be a ghost?
What was that?
I knocked over my chair because I wanted to get close to the mic so you could hear me clearly.
Oh, I can hear you clearly. I can hear you very clearly. I can hear you so clearly, Radio Rebel, that we could be in the same building.
Same building? What are you, crazy?
Are you here at Slam, Stacy? I don't see you. Or maybe you're hiding somewhere.
We then find out Stacy's motivation. She was made fun of when she was little for liking princess crowns and being quote-unquote weird. So she made over her image and wants to be prom queen to be cool but still get her crown, which actually kind of makes sense for a mean girl. I mean, as I heard on Disney when they did those bullying ads, bully people, and of course it's not a substantial reason at all, but there are too many movies, especially Disney, where the mean girl has no motivation at all. It also teaches kids that bullies have feelings too, and that there's always a reason why people act a certain way. Then, We So Fly happens. The best part of the movie by far.
We're the G's and this is We So Fly.
Caught me sneaking out the back. Daddy chased me down the street.
It's like the humble version of Don't You Wish You Were Us from Lemonade Mouth.
You know we own this party. You know we run this town.
We then get another heartfelt moment between Gavin and Tara. Well, kind of just Gavin. Stacy, in an attempt to become closer to Gavin, her prom date, who wanted just to go to prom to impress Tara anyway, legit locks Tara in a closet, steals her place in their scene, and kisses Gavin. Then, when Tara is like, "Oh, what the hell, Stacy?" Stacy then puts her hands on her. All right, Stacy. Gavin then finds out what Stacy did to Tara, and yada yada yada. They break up, but we already knew he was gonna dump her ass anyway, because we love Tara. We love Shy Girl Tara. We stan Shy Girl Tara. But I also want to add the reason why Tara got out of the closet and why Gavin ended up knowing what happened. I think it's important to address the school maintenance worker.
Don't bother denying it. I have a witness.
At the beginning of the movie, Audrey and Tara were actually mean to the maintenance worker.
Not now, Mr. Migowski.
But I need the broom.
Like, come on, man. He's just trying to do his job. He doesn't need you holding him up. He just wanted his mop. Let him get the mop. Like, I know that the screenwriters did not intend for this to mean anything, but I just hope that all of you out there, whether you're in college, you're in high school, you're just in life, be nice to maintenance workers. Be nice just to everyone, really. Like, you're not above anyone in life. Gavin gets kicked out of the band because of his best friend, Gabe, douchewad, whatever you want to call him. But don't worry, Gabe will come through in the end, doing, just the bare minimum. We're finally almost done because it's prom, which is important in these movies, but in the real world, not so much. Prom is actually quite boring. The after parties are fun, or so I've been told. Instead of going to my senior prom, I went to a cancer fundraiser, so who is the real cool person? Anywho, Gavin drops out of the prom king race.
We had 2 nominations for more king, but one dropped out.
No way! And I promised myself I wasn't going to get stuck on technicalities and just point out the plot and the characters, because it is a kids' movie, but this annoys me. Cammie, the radio show producer, announces the prom queen nominees, and you can see that last frame. Tara says no, she's not going up, and Cammie is quite disappointed. But then the prom queen gets announced, and Radio Rebel leaves. Why, you may ask? Because it was already planned by Tara and her stepfather that she was going to reveal herself the whole time. So what was the whole point of the no? There was no point. Tara then finally comes out of the booth to show the real her. For some people, it's hard to get out of the closet. For Tara, it was the booth that got her. And the principal is there doing this. Did they not invest in security, or are they just letting any middle-aged person in? Tara then gets expelled by the principal, who was allowed to climb on stage, but then,
Oh, and don't bother coming to school on Monday.
I'm Radio Rebel!
No, I'm Radio Rebel.
No, I'm Radio Rebel! Oh, I'm Radio Rebel! No, I'm Radio Rebel! No, I'm Radio Rebel!
So, the principal got defeated in 2 seconds. Who knew it was that easy to get out of expulsion? I wish I could have done that in high school to save one of my classmates. But no, Tara's all fine and good, because we stand Shy Queen Tara. Gavin then performs a song that says he can now be who he is, but he isn't going to do this alone. The G's just go up. Like, this is an original Gavin song, but the G's just hop on stage like they know the song. That guy comes from behind the curtain, and they all just jam. Before the song, though, he says this.
There's a girl I've liked for a while now. She's the kind of girl who's not afraid to ask a dancing sandwich for some help.
I'll ask the dancing sandwich.
She inspired the song. The song's for her.
Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. He was the dancing sandwich. This one. Of course I'm just joking, though. How could you forget that dancing sandwich? He's a sandwich that can dance. The dancing sandwich. Woo-wee. Tara and Gavin meet up after his amazing performance, and then the worst part of the movie happens. That kiss. That face. It has always been seared in my brain.
Your turkey on rye.
Whoa.
And that's the ending. Well, this is the ending. So, my thoughts on Radio Rebel as a whole. I can't shit on this movie too much. Besides Tara and her friend group, oh yeah, she has these 2 fraternal twin friends who I don't talk about because they just say weird shit like this.
Methinks she protests too much.
Yeah, we think.
But you get back down, you're blowing our cover, Larry!
Where's Tara?
More to the point, where's Radio Rebel?
Oh, my true love shall be revealed.
This one's staring at me. Make it stop.
But let's be real, some of the characters have some death, and I'm using some very lightly, even if it's just a little bit of death. Gavin is a good role model, and I had a crush on Stacy as a kid, so they both offered some guidance in my life. If Radio Rebel helped you as a kid, that's great. If you think it's trash, that's fine too. However, we can all agree on one thing.